Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today I'm in the MCC practice server. What? Today we're talking about block wars. I just got whitelisted on the server like a couple days ago, and I just wanted to show it because I will be making content on this server, probably on stream in the following weeks because the event's at the end of the month. So you'll see me on here on stream. But before we get into that, or the main topic of today's video, which is Block Wars Pride, what could have been, I am in Twitch Rivals. I think I already advertised this, but if not, I've been in Twitch Rivals, House of Nightmares, $100,000 Hannah X Sylvie event for the past 2 days. I survived both. Today is the one that's scary because half the people are gonna go out, and I'm a little bit worried. If I survive this time, it'll be pretty good, pretty cool. I hope so, but I'm kind of scared. I think it might be the last day for me. So anyways, if you want to watch, the time at which the event starts is this. I decided to add a bunch of time zones for this one because I know some of my audience is Turkish and Indian. I know that obviously those are pretty common viewership areas. So, and I also added LA. I don't know who lives in LA from my audience, but if you live in LA, there you go. Time zones there. This is when the event starts. I will be live probably 15 to 10 minutes before, maybe a little bit earlier depending on if Shane wants to yap the entire time, because he typically does, and I'll be live a little bit after potentially depending on if I get eliminated, etc, to just play on the practice server for MCC. Anyways, a topic at hand today. A little bit, 2 minutes of advertising and whatnot to start. But today, I will showcase what Block Wars Pride could have looked like. Now, I must clarify, these are not actual planned teams. I just decided to sit down and try to make a Pride roster according to what I probably would have done in the instance that Block Wars Pride 2024 was going to happen. Because, as may be obvious, Block Wars will not be back in time for a Pride event. We will be compensating at a later time this year, you'll see. But there will be no Pride event this year, so I decided, hey, just for fun, for a little bit of a topic of conversation, etc., I made a roster that would potentially be what we would try to do for a Block Wars Pride event. As you can see, this was posted 9 days ago. I was going to make this video a lot earlier, and then every event ever decided to happen at the exact same time, and I got busy. So today, we finally have time to talk about this. Starting with the Scarlet Sharks, as you can see. Also, there are new players, in quotations, on this. There's only one player who has not previously been announced. Which is, they're not actual players, by the way. I mean, Koji and Elam are in the Discord. They've been announced or leaked by Ant Frost that they are in the roster. But yeah, you have a fun little mix here, a bit of an Among Us combination with like Stu, 5UP, and Kara. Koji and Elam is a common duo, I'm pretty sure. I think they've collabed in the past quite a lot with 5UP as well, if I remember correctly. And I assume Kara and Stu have interacted with them here and there. So cool little team here. Next up, orange team. You got a little fun combination here too. Akko and Oppo return as a duo, with Ghosty as well, and Ashley and Eret as like a little duo as well. I think would be a very fun combination, and yeah, would be roughly what you could expect an orange team in a Block Wars Pride event to look like. Next up, Golden Gorillas is essentially a runback of the Block Wars Chaos team. They ended up getting, I think, 3rd or 4th, so I assume the event went pretty well for them. I assume they had a good time, so just run it back, I guess. I mean, I would want to make a Michaela, Gucky, and Amy trio kind of regardless, and I think JoJo and Nuke are very well suited top frags to balance the team out, and also just for good vibes. So yeah, there you go. This would be kind of the approach that we would take. Also, just want to make a note. The template that is being used here is just what we had for last year. I know it doesn't look that great. We wouldn't use the same one. Next up is the one that has the newcomer on it that isn't actually a player and also potentially wouldn't happen, but it is something we would probably try, is this team. Finster would be the person we would probably try to get, but we'll see. This is your Anthos team, essentially. The way it would work is Anthos kind of just makes his own team for Pride because he is LGBTQ and just kind of gets his friends, in which he would probably want Quite at least. And I think Cottontail would make a lot of sense to come along with that. I know that if he had to pick a top frag, he's picking Feinberg, because of course he would. And then Finster fits very well with Quite and Cottontail, and he knows Xanthos, and I mean, Feinberg and Finster should be fine. I guess it's not necessarily like a perfect combo, but it's not bad at all. It's just fine. So, cool team. And it has, it would have a pretty hyped newcomer on it if it happened. I mean, we have contact with Finster. I don't know if we're ever gonna try, but maybe. Next up is the Misty team. Assuming that Thor is down to play, we would obviously put him in because high viewership, charity, etc., is just very good. This is kind of the bombshell viewership team, maybe number 2. Probably this team is the biggest one because Toby and Thor are just really, really big streamers. But Pink Team also has some pretty heavy hitters on it. Regardless, Misty and Simple have teamed several times now, with Thor twice as well, and I know Thor really likes teaming with them, so that's a nice little trio. I think Toby is cool because Toby knows Thor and also knows Misty, so that'll be a nice combo, and I think Fur fits the vibe here very well too, also because it's a little bit of a Mario combo with Simple. Very nice. Next up, you have Blue Bear. This is your Shane team, kind of. Shane doesn't necessarily obviously have to be in Pride, but, I think, or at least last year, we had Shelby in Pride, thanks to Shane, and I kind of would want to run that back. I'd also like to have Scott back in the roster at some point, so Scott, Shelby, and Shane, good combo, okay? That works very nicely. Martin also, obviously, fits that vibe very well, and D-Tune is friends with Shelby, and maybe Scott, I don't actually know, but D-Tune and Shelby are friends with each other, and makes for a very solid team with, I think, 4 LGBTQ representatives. Also, I said it, or at least I mentioned it at the in the title of this, but this roster has 30 plus LGBTQ creators. So, just for anyone who's curious, there you go. There's the answer. Next up, Purple Team. Here's your Ant Frost team. Ant and Velvet obviously makes sense as a duo. Gumi fits very nicely there as a third. And then a Lineshu and Mooney duo together there makes for a very fun, chaotic, loud POV. I think it's a good vibe. I think it would be very, very silly. Also, balancing balancing is definitely not the main priority for a roster like this. I think this team probably is a little on the weaker end, but Gumi and Velvet do have very good pop-off potential, and Ant is one of the better players, so maybe it would be pretty good. Who knows? And finally, this would be kind of the gals team with the VTuber combination of or VShojo VTuber combination rather. Hannah and Rattles as the top frags, and Giga, Iron Mouse, and Melody as the other players as very big viewership hitters. And for Pride, honestly, makes a lot of sense because I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure. I think Melody and Mouse are both LGBTQ. Obviously, Rattles as well. So very good rep as well. Very nice. So this would be roughly what the roster for a Block Wars Pride could have looked like with the current state of Block Wars. In the instance that we do end up running one for 2025, things will probably look significantly different because if you haven't noticed, Block Wars is very quick in development in terms of roster. We are growing at an alarming rate. So yeah, very cool. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this roster. Before we end, though, I have some things that I want to acknowledge because the Block Wars Reddit has been relatively active. I asked the Block Wars Reddit to make Pride predictions or just teams in general, just to, create some activity, create some fun discussion, and also because people tend to get very creative with Block Wars rosters because our potential players is a lot wider than something like MCC because we are a variety event with significantly faster expansion rate of adding newcomers, etc., etc. First off is this one. I replied to this one because I said nice, because I think this is not necessarily super realistic, but it's heading in the direction that we would want, I think, for a Pride roster. So let's get into it. First team starts off with an unrealistic thing because we don't know Etoile. Unless Toby would want to bring Etoile in, that would, be a little tough. But Toby, Max, Piso, and Crow would be very fun as a combination. And Etoile would be a very nice addition as well. So, very cool. Orange team, I mean, this is good vibes. This is your, like, Minecrafter, team. I feel like more so modern Minecrafter, obviously with Martin being more of an OG, but the other 4 on this team are definitely more modern creators, so it could be a very fun vibe. I think it meshes well. It's a nice little combination, and I don't know how many. It says 31 LGBTQ plus creators. I don't know if who the question marks are, but seems like a very good team for representation as well. So very nice. This one is another one where, like, obviously Koji and Elam I had on a prediction as well. Anton 5 makes a lot of sense as a combination. Jody I would love to have in a block horse, but I don't know if she would want to. We don't know her either. We don't have contact. With we, I mean me, Shane, Misty, Anthos. We don't have contact with Jody, so we could never really ask. But I would love to have Joji and Joji would be cool too, but Jody I would like to have in too, because I think she's a really cool creator, and I think she's also LGBTQ, so it would be very good representation as well, especially in terms of larger creators, because unfortunately it is not very common, especially within Minecraft, that the LGBTQ creators are, not within Minecraft, just in the whole sphere, that the LGBTQ creators are the larger creators. So I'd like to, when the time comes, try to get them to represent LGBTQ as a large creator, because I think that's just a very nice double bonus. Anyways, very cool team, would be very fun. Next up, Lime Lions. This is kind of a double combination of what I had as well. I mean, a Misty and Thor combination with D-Tune would make sense. I already had Scott and D-Tune on the same team. Misty and Thor on the same team. Akko fits the vibe very well too, also just fits the team. This is definitely a little strong maybe. I mean, I guess the other teams, like, this is not bad either. This could be decent. I don't know how good Squiddo is at Minecraft. This team could be decent as well. I mean, Etoile is I think an old UHC player. I could be wrong. So I still think this is a little much, Misty and Akko are 2 top 10 candidates for a Pride roster. So I don't know. Cool team though. I think it would be fun vibes. Next up is another similar combination. I mean, Rattles, Giga, and Mouse were on the same team in the team that I made. I think Contail would be a solid fit, and I think Harvey would be a very fun combination too. Also gets a HBG duo between Harvey and Rattles. Could be fun. I mean, this would be a very solid team. Very curious to see what pink is. I forgot. So if this is this, then what is pink? We'll find out. Blue team, very cool too. This is a little bit on the weaker end, but I guess yet again, Gumi and like Kara have crazy pop-off potential. But this would be very fun. It would be a very nice combination. So yeah, cool. Next up, you have a gals team. Yet again, you'll love to see it. Jojo, Hannah, Ghosty, Shelby, and Michaela. This also is another team that's a little strong because Ghosty as a middle frag in a Pride roster makes sense, but with Jojo and Hannah at the high end is a little crazy. And Michaela and Shelby are also very capable of a solid performance. So yeah, I mean, it would be very fun though. I would love this. And then finally, okay, that makes sense. You have a Shane and Joel and Lizzie trio, I guess, with Jack and Jem to finish it off. I think this would be fantastic. And yeah, it would be very cool. Definitely something that would be worth looking into for a Pride-esque roster, even a normal roster. And yeah, big fan. I like it. So there's an example of fan prediction that was following the lines decently well of what we would want to try to do. You get different representation across the board. Obviously, you have, some variety sprinkled in. VTuber variety. You have just a more mainstream, I guess, streamer variety. You have OG Minecrafters. You have more modern creators. You have, like, a bunch of people. So it would be very cool. Very nice representation. Good job. Okay, no one knows. Good job. Good job on this roster. This is fire. Definitely one that I think is close to what we would attempt, at least. Someone also made another set of teams that was pretty silly. This person said, I hope the Grandmaster Wolfeei sees this. Well, you're welcome. I see it. Okay, I see it. But before I get into that, blockwars Newcomer prediction stats is also something that I've been asked to mention, or not asked to mention, but rather been asked about if I've seen it, and I definitely did. I saw this entire post. Don't worry. I'm fully aware that people like Silver are the most requested people to be in blockwars. But like said in the past, we just are going to have a really, really tough time adding more good players, especially with both Hannah and Fruit joining as of recent. It is going to be nearly impossible to add more good players to the roster unless we somehow lose a couple, which I don't want to happen. Obviously, most people are my friends that are in the blockwars roster. I want everyone to stick around and get the opportunity to play, but it is tricky. And I do feel bad when we have to bench people multiple events in a row or even almost permanently. But it is what it is. I have to view blockwars as its own entity and not attach my own bias to the event. And that results in certain people getting benched a couple of times because I have to choose between two options where one maybe gets 100 or 200 viewers and one gets like 1,000. And that's just the way it is. Anyways, looping back to the topic of the video, yeah, I mean, I saw all these Newcomer predictions and stuff. I mean, Silver, I actually spoke to for the first time recently because of the not Hunt and Run, because of the House of Nightmares event, so very nice too. Puffy, I don't know if they're interested in playing. I mean, they seem to not have really been involved in MCC much recently, so I kind of doubt that they'd want to play blockwars, but maybe. Scar, Ryguy, Grian, and Ludwig is a very fun, interesting combination. Scar is technically possible, but I also think that Scar is someone who is way more attached to MCC and would probably not want to opt for another event, but I could be wrong. That's just my guess. Ryguy, another situation where like Ryguy is relatively good at the game, maybe a little bit tricky to fit into the roster. Grian is just probably not going to happen, unfortunately. I would love to have Grian in, but, like, we don't know him. Ludwig, technically possible, but he's very busy, and also he's Ludwig, so we'll try probably at some point, but I have no certainty on whether that's going to happen. And then Doug and Vic. Doug we have contacted in the past, but he's also another very busy man who has a lot of plans going on all the time, and Vic, I don't think we have contact with. And then there's a bunch of other people, some of whom have already been known to join at some point, probably. Yeah, very fun little mix of people here. And then most predicted canon is this, most predicted non-canon, or whatever, and then most predicted for the next block wars, I guess, are these. 7 predictions had no newcomers, so interesting combination here, and a bunch more stuff. So if you want to read it, go on the Reddit, and yeah. They say, shout out Wolfeei, Anthos, Misty, and the other player managers brother for clearly making great decisions on newcomers. There's a lot of predictions included newcomers who have since been added. True. And yeah, anyways, back to this. Funny little combination here. This is a funny team. I don't know if it would happen, but it's very funny. This is very cool. I like it. Good team. This is also very cool. A little strong. Actually, very strong, but I like it. This makes sense. I would love to see Parker paired up with Hermits, and also Curry, of course, paired up with Hermits would be very cool. And next up, you have this. Sure, works. I mean, cool. Yep. This is probably not going to happen because I don't expect Puffer to play in a non-rookies event unless he wants to, but I kind of doubt it. For the rest, I mean, sure, but Mooney and Joe would be an interesting combination. It could be fun to try out maybe one day, but that would be a very silly combination. Yeah, sure, this works. And then, you know, if this was a regular team, that would be kind of insane, wouldn't it? Anyways, enough yapping. It's been 19 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the longer Wolfeei Mogul and an actual Wolfeei Mogul instead of just VODs being uploaded because, sorry, MCC and PB were happening back to back. So that was a watch party for Sunday and a PB VOD for Monday. So today, back to normal YouTube video. Anyways, when this video's up, I will maybe already be live for not Hunt and Run, House of Nightmares, Twitch Rivals. This is the time at which it starts. the event should start at least. I will be live a little bit earlier, hopefully. So come watch. Come watch. It's been very fun. It's been very intense. It's been a good time. And if I survived today, that's kind of crazy. So be there or not, I guess. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.